This week's Parsha, Hukkat, is when the bottom falls out. First, the Israelites complained about manna. Then, Miriam and Aaron criticized Moses' choice of spouse and leadership. Then, 12 spies are sent to scout out the promised land, and 10 return claiming the land can't be conquered, a report that results in the desert wanderings of 40 years. Then Korach and his followers lead an open rebellion against Moses. And so this week, Moses' frustrations burst forth as Israel cries out for water, and Moses lashes out at the rock, striking it when he was told to speak to it, a deed that results in his being debarred from entering the promised land. So why did the bottom fall out? One explanation our tradition suggests is that while the Israelites were indeed freed from the physical restraints of their Egyptian bondage, psychologically and emotionally they remained enslaved. Another somewhat related explanation is that the root of Israel's discontent is found in their misremembering their Egyptian slavery. The Israelites created an alternate memory of their past. They remembered not the taskmasters, but the plentiful fish and the cucumbers and melons, all the things that, whether or not they actually existed, were recalled as more desirable than their present desert drudgery. I think, to say it most simply, somehow, somewhere along the way, the Israelites stopped appreciating the blessings of their lives. There was, objectively speaking, tov, good to be had all around. They were liberated. They were God's chosen. They were en route to the promised land. And in spite of all this, all they could see, all they could focus on was what was wrong, what they didn't have, where they, Moses or God, fell short. The villain in these chapters is the Israelite soul itself. Not that everything was perfect, it wasn't. There were challenges to be confronted, but there was also good and a lot of it, and Israel failed to appreciate it. And because they failed to see the promise in their midst, they were deemed unfit to enter the promised land. Abraham Joshua Heschel once wrote, "Mankind will not perish for want of information, but only for want of appreciation." As Jews, we're meant to fill our lives with blessings, at least 100 every day, to see the extraordinary in the ordinary, and to find the sacred in the mundane. Far too many of us, far too often, go through life failing to appreciate the moments of awe and wonder that are ever present were we only to pause and take notice. There are enough, more than enough blessings to go around. There's so much for which to be thankful. As Ben Zoma teaches in Pirkei Avot, wealth is defined by one who is happy with their portion, a measurement that's ultimately left to each of us to determine. See you in Shul.